Shenanigans.
You mean shenanigans?
Shenanigans. Evil shenanigans.
Shenanigans, right?
If I get up and running like that, I will. I'll actually have a couple of cameras. That way you can see both people, and you don't have to scrunch up here at the desk. We can actually lounge in a comfortable spot and talk, and I'll have lighting. And so it's a little bit of a time, man. If you guys go back and watch my older videos, it started out with nothing back here, just a little poster, and then I got my my sound room and my set all put together. So yeah, it takes a little while to get there, but it's a work in progress. So
eventually you'll have a green screen back there so you can put a...
No, I'm not going to do a green screen. I can get one. It's, editing these videos takes hours already. So sitting down and editing videos and then trying to put backgrounds and stuff,
more than I do.
Well, it's a lot of work. Okay, because I have a real job where I actually go to work for 12 hours a day for the most days. I mean, I went to work this morning for a few minutes just to handle some stuff at like 8 o'clock. I'm busy all the time. Jen gets mad at me because I come home at night and I run out here and I start editing videos from the week before and trying to get them put out there and produced and make them make sense. This last week I edited some videos and they're kind of choppy. I mean, they kind of cut off at one spot and started at another spot, but I mean, I was just trying to get them out.
Live and learn. What episode is this?
This is going to be podcast number 13. So this is episode... at this point, it depends. I've been chopping them into pieces. So I'll sit and we'll get hours of content, and then I'll chop it and, do different things. So I'll cut some stuff out. I'll just, have a story, different things.
It's like comic books in one section, then some other section.
Yeah. So that comic book thing we talked about, that'll probably be its own thing. And then, unless the videos are shorter, depending on how long the video is, I try to keep my videos between like 7 and 12 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. I found that going that long, people start to
get lost.
Yeah, they kind of lose interest, I think. But at the same time, I was listening to Joe Rogan, and it seems like he was talking to Bill Maher, or Jimmy Dore. Maybe it was Jimmy Dore. And Jimmy Dore says something about, it's a weird thing. People either watch a video for 5 minutes or for 3 hours. Nothing in between. And he's right. People don't. They want a saga. They want to go work out, right? So 45 minutes would be a good, they want a long format thing. But then also you've got the driving to work. I just want 15, 10 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever, of information.
These are the first podcasts. Your podcasts are the only podcasts I've ever listened to. And it's nice because when I leave the house, I can put one on and drive to town and get where I'm going, and the podcast be over or just about done with.
Mm-hmm. That's
do my thing, and then listen to another one when I go back home.
I do the same thing. I do the exact same thing. And so I love music, but music is just, I'm almost finished with it, man. I've heard all the songs I like. They're not making a lot of good music that I like today. I don't typically listen to music as much. Like if I go on a road trip, I don't even care about hearing music. I'd rather listen to sports talk radio. And I'm not really that much into sports, just a little bit. I prefer comedy radio. That's my favorite thing to listen to, especially if there's people I haven't heard of or jokes I haven't heard, which is really hard to find because I'm fat, so I sit around listening to shit all day. I've heard it all almost. I'm afraid to write jokes because if I wrote a joke, I'm sure I'm stealing it from someone else.
Yeah.
Well, the universe is tied together.
Right, and there's only so many ideas.
Well, years ago I had an idea for a table, a nightstand, okay, that when you touched it would illuminate. So when you touched it, it would illuminate, and then you'd be able to go pee or do whatever you're doing. A week later, my wife and I are somewhere and we see one. So someone had it way before I did. That was my idea. It came to me, and I know I hadn't seen one before, and that's what made me so excited. And just to show that I'm a fucking genius. Period. But it's happened a few times. There's been a few times that I've had ideas and other people have done stuff with them. This is the first time I had an idea that I did some shit with it. It wasn't my idea for the podcast, but the nightly news was totally my idea. Podcast was something I wanted to do a long time ago.
Because nobody else has ever done nightly news.
No, not really. It's funny because I did look into that, and specifically, the only nightly news out there is NBC Nightly News, right?
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Nobody else has ever done it.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not NBC, and they did the nightly thing, so that was what I was like, you know what? A lot of people do, man. Just before they go into bed, they pop on Bing or Google or Twitter, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. I just figured put out a few snippets of my opinions and, a couple things that I see and point them out on a regular basis to kind of keep the flow, get my face out there. And besides, when stuff comes up, I remember during the election last time, every day I would hear lie after lie after lie after lie. And I know it was a lie because I was looking at the two different New York Times posts of the same thing that contradicted each other. And I was like, well, if people don't know this, then all they're seeing is a headline, and that headline says that this is what's going on. Well, that's not what's going on. That's opposite of what's actually going on. In fact, the same paper reported the opposition.
Right.
So I just want to be able to get my information out there and be like, hey, I don't want to tell you who to vote for or what to do, but come on, man, pay attention to this stuff. These guys are pulling one over on you.
Do your own research.
Yeah, don't listen to the media. Those guys don't care. They just want money. They want you to click. Clicks equal dollars. That's all that matters. They don't care.
You mean shenanigans?
Shenanigans. Evil shenanigans.
Shenanigans, right?
Shenanigans.